Well, hey YouTube, as you can probably tell, well, I don't know if you can because it's kind of dark, I am driving something a little different. And something a little louder. And also, as you can tell, there is someone else here with me. This is my friend Ethan, and I'm driving his 2014 FG4 Honda Civic Si Coupe. And wanted to start off by saying thank you very much for letting me drive your car. And hopefully you'll be in a few more videos. So tell them about the car. What have we done to it? Why is it so loud?
Well, thank you for letting me be on your videos. Obviously, you didn't have to do that, but this is my 2014 Civic Si Coupe. It is the FG4 with the K24 2.4 liter dual overhead cam. You know, the whole VTEC shebang. You know, everybody loves some VTEC. So we have lowered it. We've Plasti Dip experimented on it. We've done not a whole lot, but we've done some stuff to it. Some of it didn't work out, like the Plasti Dip wheels that were on it for a while.
That was kind of a fail.
Yeah, well, it looked really good at first, but I think, like we were talking about earlier, it's just because it was different, and that was the first thing we did.
Yeah,
was Plasti Dip the wheels black.
Yeah, and then we did a few Plasti Dip things on the front.
Yeah, some of the chrome accents, you know, we blacked those out. Looks really good. We got the red JDM badges. It's lowered on Skunk 2 lowering springs. I think it's a 2-inch drop in the rear and like 2 1/4 in the front. Looks really good.
It's really low too. We actually just finished washing it and detailing it and all that. And
yeah,
of course it's a little lower than my Mustang, and there may have been a few times where I bumped my head. Maybe.
It was pretty funny actually.
I'm glad you thought so.
I was on the other side of the car and I'd hear like, oh crap. It's like, yeah, you are right over there.
That's what you heard.
Yeah. Go ahead. I mean.
But yeah, like I said, FG4. A lot of people at first, when these came out, they didn't really like them because they didn't have the 8,000 RPM 2-liter Screamer anymore.
This is very true.
But honestly, I don't really think it's that big of a deal. This motor has a lot more low-end torque than the 2-liter did, or the K20, whatever you want to call it. This is a really good motor. And this is my personal opinion, you can smack the crap out of me if you so desire.
I'm ready to hear what you have to say negative.
I don't think it sounds quite as cool as the K20 did, but overall, I think it's a much better fit for this car. The K20, you just had to rev the ever-living crap out of to get any power out of it. And this one, you really don't have to. I'm in 6th gear at like 65 miles an hour and put your foot down. And it's got enough low-end torque to kind of bring you up to speed. So I think overall this is a much better motor. Looks-wise, I am, and you can give your input too, I am a much bigger fan of this generation than the 8th generation Civic.
I have to agree with that. And you know, it's funny about that is the 14, the coupes, have gotten a lot of hate on the way they look.
Really?
A lot of people don't like the front end from what I've seen and heard. They think it doesn't look good. And it's really funny because I was looking at getting, this was before I was into cars at all, I was looking at getting a regular EXL 2-door Civic, and I was like, yeah, that looks really cool. And then they came out with the SI, the 2014, and completely changed the front end. Some other like little cosmetic things. I mean, it's the same engine, it's a 9th gen, so it's got the K24, but they changed it, and it was on Honda's website the first time I saw it, and it was a picture of one of those orange ones, and you know, I don't care much for the orange, but
I'm not a big orange fan.
I don't, well, it has to do with the orange though, because I kind of like the orange that Hyundai uses on the Velosters.
Yeah.
I like that orange, but the one on the Civics, it's kind of like a pastel color.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of dull and chalky looking or something.
I would have to agree with that, and I don't like it, but as soon as I saw it on the website, my voice just cracked there. That's puberty for you.
Oh God, I love it.
Yeah, 20 years old, still going through that.
Yeah.
That's a lie. I'm 19, almost 20. Can I say that on YouTube? Somebody's not gonna like find out my stuff and like come stalk me or anything.
That's not likely.
You got cool people that follow you, so I'm not too worried about it.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I mean y'all are following Reed, so that calls into question your coolness. Anyhow.
tech gets a lot of hate, but it's a lot of fun. It really puts a smile on your face. It's not the fastest car in the world, but oh my lord, this transmission.
I did get chopped by your 3-valve the other day.
You did get chopped.
That's okay though.
This happened in Mexico. There's no way you do this on public roads.
We are in Mexico, by the way.
Yeah.
Obviously.
No public roads here.
No.
Not at all.
What was I saying? Oh, but yeah, so I fell in love with the front end because that was the first picture that popped up, and I didn't really know how to drive a standard at that point. Like, I had kind of learned, one of my friends taught me in his CTSV fun car to learn standard in, but I kind of had a general idea of it, and I could sort of do it. Wasn't the best, obviously, but I was like, you know what? I don't care. I'll make myself get good at it, and I got the SI. It was really cool, and I fell in love with it, and I really don't have any regrets. The only thing that I really can complain about is its wrong wheel drive.
Yeah.
It has the front wheel drive, and that's pretty lame.
But one thing I will give Honda is they really did a good job kind of eliminating torque steer. I was wide open throttle there, rip shifting the crap out of it, and not doing a very good job of it at that. And it still took my crap just fine. Transmission behaved really well, and I didn't feel any torque steer, which is not something I could say. No, that doesn't get old. But that's not something I could say for my Fusion. It came so many times inches from yanking me into a curb, which was really irritating. But this does a really good job of managing torque steer. I know when it came from factory, it had the infamous Continental Connie Pro contacts. Which,
it did. Those were awful.
The worst tires ever put on any car. And we managed to blow through those pretty quickly.
We kind of did, yeah.
And let's see, the car has 25,295 miles now. What, they were gone by 23,000?
I think 22, right around in there, like almost 23. I don't think it had quite rolled over, but I kept rounding it up so it didn't sound like I drove like a hoodlum. Now, I only did that with my mom and stuff, but
yeah. Gotta keep the parents happy.
Exactly.
Hey, at least they lasted longer than they did on the Fusion. 16,700 miles, they were gone.
Wow.
They were blown.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, so you were talking about how you fell in love with this car and stuff.
Oh, yeah, and like, my only complaint really is the fact that it's front-wheel drive. Now, do I think they should have added, or that they could have added a little more power? Absolutely. I mean, that's always, you never have enough power. Well, you can. Sometimes it gets stupid, but I think a little bit more power just to keep up with some of the competitors would have been nice, like the Golf, the GTI, the Focus ST. But once you get into those categories, you're not talking about naturally aspirated anymore. You're talking about forced induction, and that's a completely different animal.
Yeah.
Altogether.
One thing I really do enjoy about this car is the feel of it being all motor instead of relying on a forced induction. And I can see the camera changing focus a whole lot. I apologize, it got dark and we ran out of time, but we wanted to get this out here for you guys and just kind of introduce you to Ethan. But I think as far as the power goes, yeah, it could do to have a little more, but then they would have probably gone turbo like they're doing with the new 10th generation Civic and the Type R and all that stuff, which I think is going to be a fantastic car, and tuners are going to absolutely have a blast with it. But there's something about all motor that kind of gives you the choice. If you want to go forced induction, you can. You're not stuck with a turbocharged engine straight from the factory that you can only do so much with. Like, I know you can talk about your future plans with the car and what you want to do.
Yeah, so right now it's straight pipe past the resonator. So we did a muffler delete, and it sounds a whole lot better than, well, Reed tells me it sounds better than the Fusion. I don't know. I kind of like the Fusion with the muffler delete. I really did, but
what's nice about this, though, it doesn't drone, and the Fusion droned like all get out.
This is very true. It doesn't drone. I'm kind of a racer at heart, though. I love obnoxious second gear flybys on old grandmas and their Mercedes and stuff. It's fun. It's funny. I'm a jerk, but yeah. So I like this Fusion. I know he didn't, and most of y'all I don't think did. I don't know. Wasn't there was a pretty good split on it, wasn't there?
There was a pretty good following on the Fusion, and I did like the car itself, but I didn't like the whole ownership experience.
Right.
He knows, y'all know, the Fusion had problem after problem after problem, which is why I joined the all too wonderful 3-valve Mustang life. It's fun. It is fun. Like, when I first heard it, I thought, oh Lord, this is going to be the loudest, most obnoxious, fartiest thing in the world. But it's really not. It sounds like it has an actual exhaust that is muffling the sound quite a bit. In my personal opinion, it does.
I really love this sound, especially you get to some of the higher RPMs and let off. And like when you're in the lower gears especially, you get some backfire and some crackle, and it's real nice. Oh,
yeah,
man.
That's a lot of fun.
That's always fun. It's not Jaguar F-Type or anything, but I mean it's still.
Let's see.
There's. That's traction control robbing power also.
That was traction control robbing power, but I still managed to get a third gear chirp out of it, which I think is pretty cool. Sometimes the Mustang doesn't even do that on its god-awful tires, so.
I do think it's worth noting that the 3-valve beat me, but the Fusion couldn't. The Fusion did not have what it took.
We have been to Mexico multiple times, and the Fusion definitely couldn't hang with this car. The Fusion felt faster than it actually was to me.
That's how this one is, though, I think. It's very sport-oriented, and, like, the whole inside the cabin feel and the way the gauges are laid out and stuff. You feel like you're going so much faster than you are, and especially now that it's loud, it sounds like you're going way faster than you are.
Yeah, people hear it and they're like, wow, that car must be really fast, and they look over and like, it's a Honda.
I'm in second gear, you know, just kind of casually taking off from a red light or something.
Yeah, but, I mean, you guys can expect to see a full review of this car coming soon. But one of the things that I really like is the driver-oriented cockpit. A lot of people talk about... Oh, shut up. A lot of people talk about the driver-oriented cockpit, but everything really is aimed at the driver. Your infotainment... Oh, crap. That was bad.
It's okay.
Your infotainment screen is aimed at the driver. All of your controls are aimed at the driver. Ergonomically, it's just a very well-designed car. Very, very good. And the transmission, oh my gosh. I was going on about this earlier with him, but this just makes the transmission in my Mustang feel like I'm rowing a wet noodle through a bucket of butter or something.
That's a very...
and the clutch on the Mustang it feels great. Like it's kind of a clutch maybe for a cruise ship or something. I don't know. But this transmission, I hear hype about Honda gearboxes all the time, but now I kind of get it. It's really good transmission. Super, super easy to drive. I got my Mustang, thankfully, fairly familiar with driving stick shift, but if I were to get one of these, I'd learn to drive stick really, really fast. Such an easy car to learn on. A term I hear thrown around all the time for transmissions from Honda is snickety snick, and it really is. It's got a nice clunk in each gear, just a lot of feel through the transmission. It doesn't feel numb or boring or anything like that.
It's a really good transmission for somebody who doesn't know how to drive a standard, and if you want to teach them, this would be a very, well, I mean, obviously if they're not familiar with it at all, it's gonna, you know, be pretty shaky, but it's a good one to start somebody on just because of the, you know, the feel of it and how smooth it is.
Yeah,
it's very consistent. It's a very consistent transmission. Like, you know, the clutch points, they're not like scattered all over the place like the 3-valve. It's kind of weird. It's got a very...
The clutch, the whole transmission assembly in that car, I swear, is possessed. It just has all kinds of jankiness going on. I mean, it's my daily driver. You get used to it. But for somebody, if you're trying to teach them to drive stick, you don't want to learn on the Mustang. You really don't.
That was tough for me learning on the V because it was such a deep clutch. Mm-hmm. Oh man, it was.
This is a very shallow clutch travel too. It doesn't move much, and the clutch engagement point is consistent every time. Just a really, really easy stick shift to drive, and overall a fantastic car to drive. Especially now that we lowered it on the Skunk 2 springs, and dear Lord, that was a job and that was a day. I'll talk about that some other time in some other vlog. But
oh, that was awful.
God, what were we thinking?
Dude, that was
we bit off a lot.
That's what happens when people who haven't really done stuff to cars just say, hey, let's start doing stuff to cars. We like cars, let's do stuff to them.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to learn somehow.
Exactly.
Really, the best way to learn is by doing. You can watch videos all day long. Oh, I know how to change the O-ring springs. I watched 4 videos on it.
That's cute.
But no, you don't know until you've actually done it. So, yeah. But like I was saying, ergonomically great car, and just a really great car to drive. Now that it's lowered, it feels a whole lot more taut. We did keep it on the factory shocks and struts, and it really doesn't feel that underdampened like a lot of people say. Oh, you didn't change your shocks and struts, you're gonna blow them in 3 weeks, whatever. They don't feel blown, they're fine. I would like to feel it with a little bit stiffer suspension, but that's not to say how it is now is bad. I'd love to run this thing at autocross. I think it would be an absolute blast. But haven't gotten that luxury yet. Hopefully soon, if I can get this boy down to autocross.
I need to go to one of those.
You do. Hey, if I can run a lap in the Mustang and spin it out, you can run a lap in this and probably not spin it out because it's front wheel drive.
I can imagine it would not spin out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you have the power for that, honestly.
You know, I probably don't.
just messing with you.
So, but yeah, you're talking earlier about future plans. As of right now, you know, not a whole lot's been done to it. It's just been little things, little undertakings that were pretty easy for the most part, with the exception of the lowering springs. That was an interesting debacle that we got ourselves into. But like, eventually, my plans immediately, I'm about to get Honda Flash Pro so I can tune it, or get it tuned. I'm going to use VIP Viper. He's got quite the following when it comes to tuning K-Series motors. And then I'm getting a PRL short ram intake, because they say if you're going to go short ram, PRL's really the best one if you're going to go for power. I mean, no short rams are going to give you that much power. I mean, if short rams were the secret answer to getting power, they'd come like that from the factory.
Yeah.
I mean, but it'll give a little bit of boost. I was going to go for a legit cold air intake, but a few months ago it was like monsoon season here in Mexico.
Yeah.
And you know, that kind of, I don't know, kind of creeped me out a little bit. I was like, you know, I don't really want to, hydrolock my engine or anything, so.
Yeah, especially with a lowered car.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. I just think that might be taking a pretty substantial risk.
Yeah, I don't want to screw anything up.
No.
So, yeah, I'm going to end up doing the short ram, and then I'm going to do a 3-inch exhaust, because I am going to go boosted at some point when money is available and easily attainable to spend. And it's not easily attainable now because I don't have a job, but
yeah, I mean,
that makes things hard.
That's what happens when you're a full-time college student.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'm gonna do a 3-inch exhaust because I'm gonna go boosted. I'm not sure if I want the Skunk 2 Mega Power RR or if I want the NVIDIA N1. I was looking, and they do make a 3-inch piping NVIDIA N1.
But the Skunk 2 sounds so much better.
Really good. The Skunk 2 sounds really good. And you know, I mean, Skunk 2, I mean, all their products are like supposedly race oriented, and I've heard really good things about them. And I've actually been reading about some fitment issues with the NVIDIA.
You don't want to deal with that.
Yeah,
I don't want to deal with that.
Well, it seems to be more of a issue with the Q300 exhaust and it's more on the sedans.
Really?
From what I've read, yeah.
Huh.
I haven't read a whole lot of issues with the N1, especially on the coupes, but there have been. And a lot of it comes from people not getting like rear motor mounts and stuff like that. Which, I mean, you should do if you're going to get a catback, just because you should do it.
Because race car.
Because race car. And I'm going to get a downpipe Not sure if I'm going to go catless or catted. Skunk 2 has a really good downpipe, but they have never made anything with cats. Fun fact. So their downpipe is catless. I think RV6 was one that I was looking at. It's catted or catless, depending on what I want. But yeah, I haven't decided yet. They say the smell's really not too bad going catted, or catless rather. But then you've got the whole inspection thing to deal with, and passing that.
And with Volkswagen's recent cheating of the U.S. emissions.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Whatever. I feel like they're going to start cracking down on emissions real soon.
I'm really glad I don't live in California, because I was reading something the other day that said they actually have like portable emission sensors that they put on the entrances to the freeways and stuff.
Oh.
And they have like motorcycle police just on standby waiting, and if you fail the emissions test, they'll pull you over and inspect your car. And supposedly it's like a $300 ticket, and if the cop wants to be a real jerk, he can also impound your car for a day.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, and apparently there's a really bad bias over there in California where, like, if you're driving an old beat up old pickup truck or something, you know, something that didn't come with cats probably, or just has blown the cats out because it's just so old, or, you know, apparently they just give them tickets. They don't worry about it. But if you've got like some kind of import, you know, aftermarket wheels, I'm not going to say exhaust, because pretty much all of the aftermarket exhausts are illegal in California because of the emission stuff.
Which is complete BS.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous. It's so absurd.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently they're real quick to impound imports over there.
Which I think is complete crap, but whatever.
Yeah, it's stupid. But then again, I don't live in California, so I get to be thankful for that.
This is true. I hate to cut you off.
Oh yeah, no, go ahead.
I know this video is probably getting a little long, but let me know what you guys think. I'm kind of thinking about doing a weekly vlog like this. He and I usually hang out on Mondays, so let me know if you guys would like to see a weekly vlog series like this. I think it would be a pretty cool addition to the channel, honestly. But it's you guys are the audience, and y'all watch what you want to watch, so let me know what you think. Again, thank you very much for letting me rip on your car for a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a lot of fun. VTEC is not a V8, but it still puts a pretty big smile on your face, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, that pretty much wraps this video up. If there's any questions you have for Ethan about the car, he has his own YouTube channel and stuff like that. And
I do.
It's just his name. I'm sure you can find him in the comments if you're that determined. But anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
See you guys.